You were born from a crack in the world, in a silence so absolute it swallowed sound before it could exist. Not the quiet of peace, but the ancient, bone-deep stillness that settles before the earth rips open or the sky splits in two. The kind of silence that comes before a god makes a mistake, or in this case, a dragon takes its first breath. It happened on the coldest nights of the year when all three moons aligned over the hidden world. The wind froze into an eerie stillness, the sky shivered, and then a single shard of starlight pierced the cliffsides, splitting stone like glass. And from that light you emerged. Not born of egg or flame, but something older than Pangea and wiser than a wizard. Your bones were mist. Your wings were the essence of wind given shape. You didn't cry. You breathed into the world and froze the air itself with your arrival. Your body hummed with power, yet your first steps were shaky, not from weakness, but because the physical earth around you didn't know how to hold something like you. The hidden world blinked. Dragons who had ruled its tunnels and skies for centuries stopped what they were doing to stare. You didn't match anything in their memory. Too pale, too fast, too silent. What they really weren't saying is too powerful. They whispered about you even then. Ghost, frost demon, comet-born. Your existence alone held up a mirror to even the fiercest of dragons, exposing their fear only a flying goddess like you could invoke. Other hatchlings avoided you. The monstrous nightmares called you cursed. The gronkles pretended you didn't exist or curled up like boulders and hoped you wouldn't explode. Even the night furies, your closest genetic cousins, kept their distance. They watched you not with cruelty, but with caution. You didn't play like they did. You blinked in and out of visibility when startled. You vanished for 3 days after sneezing during a thunderstorm and returned with lightning clinging to your tail. No one knew what to do with that. No one knew what to do with you. You quickly learned, young, that solitude was safer. You grew up navigating a world that kept rewriting its rules around you. There were no mentors, no one to tell you what your powers could do or what they might accidentally vaporize. You taught yourself to fly by colliding with cliffs. You hunted by guessing. You tried blending in, only to vanish entirely and give the coral ecosystem an anxiety attack. You were too much magic in a world still using cave drawings to explore meteor showers. But you grew. Oh, how you grew. Your plasma blasts weren't the shadowy purple of the night furies. You were searing, blue-white, streaked with the light of the stars themselves. You didn't roar or growl. You sang, a haunting whistle, too clean to be natural and too sad to be ignored. That song echoed up cliffs, down tunnels, and through the bones of dragons too proud to admit it gave them the chills. They called it the cry of the mist wraith. You called it your voice. When you left the hidden world for the first time, the sky didn't welcome you. It braced itself. The humans saw you in flashes between clouds or firelight and immediately decided you were a sign from the gods. Some said you were a blessing. Others claimed you were a harbinger of doom. You became folklore faster than you could blink. They named you, categorized you, turned you into everything from an angel to a flying sheep with unresolved rage issues. One Viking tried to write a ballad about you. He rhymed fury with dairy and stood too close to your cave. His boots never thawed. For centuries, you flew alone. You were legend, you were the mystery, you were the shimmering blue on the horizon that no one could explain, but really wanted to. The first light fury, though no one had a name for you yet, just stories. Some beautiful, some terrifying, none accurate. Then one day, everything changed. He crashed into your life, literally. Toothless, a night fury, like the ones who'd always kept you at a distance. But he was different. Broken tail, chipped tooth, he tripped over his own wings and somehow survived. You expected the usual, fear, awe, territorial hissing. But instead he blinked at you with his dumb, curious look like you were a particularly shiny puzzle piece. He copied your movements, wobbled when you soared, offered you fish without knowing if you ate fish. He was weird, earnest, harmless. So of course, you were suspicious. He didn't treat you like a threat, or like a goddess, or a cautionary tale. He treated you like a dragon. It confused you, disarmed you, and slowly softened you. You danced, you flew together, you disappeared into the clouds and came out laughing. You watched him fumble through courtship rituals that looked more like full-body sneezes, and you let yourself hope for once that maybe, just maybe, you weren't entirely alone. And then, the narrative shifted, again. The humans gave you a name, Light Fury. Not a real name, a product name. You weren't a dragon, you were a sequel, a cleaner, seeker counterpart to Toothless 2.0. But white! They said you were born for him, that your existence made his arc complete. You weren't a mystery anymore, you were a love interest, a plot device, a celestial accessory. And you let it happen. Not because you believed it, but because it was easier than screaming. You were tired of myth, tired of trying to prove yourself to every creature with a tail and far too many opinions. You let the world think you were his mate, his moonlight bride, his final, sparkly puzzle piece. You did love him, after all. He was brave in the meekest of ways, loyal. He made you laugh. He didn't care if you vanished mid-sentence or accidentally froze a lake during your weekly date nights. He was real, and real was enough. For a while. But sometimes, when he sleeps, mouth open, leg twitching, you rise. You fly alone higher than the air wants you to go, past the glow of the hidden world, past the storm lines to the cold edge of space where no one can call you a name that you didn't choose. Because that's where you belong, in the silence between the stars, in the place where your breath doesn't turn into a story someone else writes. You weren't born to complete someone's arc. You weren't sculpted from starlight to be soft or silent or snow-colored decoration. You were born from fracture, from pressure, from moons and gravity and the drama of a world too old to care about tidy narratives. You're not dark, not light. You are the edge between the two, the balance, the fulcrum, the first. And it's hard, being first. Hard to be misunderstood, to be mythologized, to be rewritten by strangers with pens instead of wings. But you are unforgettable. And now, you're also a parent. Because life, as it does, continues in chaos. Your children are tiny sky goblins. One tried to camouflage in a pile of sheep. It didn't end well for the sheep or the nearby village. Another learned to fly by launching themselves off a cliff with zero warning and Uncle Hiccup's blind optimism. They're beautiful, loud, sticky, they break things, they chew everything. You love them so much it hurts. And still, sometimes you fly alone. Because being a light fury is being everything and nothing at once. You're a whisper, a roar, a joke, a prophecy. You are a creature born of silence and expectation, flame and frost, thunder and peace. And you are not done yet. Not even close.